I have a crazy analogy for you folks, and not sure if it'll land, but here it goes. I'm one of those people who, whether intuitive or just a bit crazy or a lot of both, is the type who knows if I'm going to like a place before I even go there. Take Oregon, for example. It wasn't until just a couple of years ago that my wife and I visited Oregon. And when we did, wow, it met with all my expectations and preconceptions and then some. Tall trees, dense forests, rushing clear water streams, these incredible long, wide ocean beaches, walking in a sweatshirt and shorts, maybe some misty rain with cold ocean water and great seafood. Cool people, sons and daughters of hippies that taught their children values like ecology, sharing, abundance mindset. And that's what we experienced when we finally got to Oregon. And this is what I experienced when I finally got to be with Val and in person, first at the inaugural West Coast Sauna Summit in January 2025. Like knowing I'd like Oregon before I even went there, Val is one of those guys that I knew I'd get along with before we even met. A Finn, one of the many cool Finns, not of the small minority that get worked up about bench heights or right or wrong with sauna or CO2 fear-mongering or this is the only way to sauna. Val has a welcoming spirit, open spirit. He acknowledges and appreciates tradition and culture without preaching it. He's inclusive and collaborative. He doesn't use the term rising sauna tide lifts all boats, and you won't have to roll your eyes with this cliche because he walks this walk and needn't talk the talk. Val has helped me restore my love and appreciation of the Finns and Finnish sauna culture, and I want to hang out more with Val and folks like him in good sauna spirit. He's coming to Sauna Days 2026, and I plan to be right there on the bench and hanging out on the rocks along the shores of Lake Superior between rounds, legal libation in hand with Valtteri Rantala. Let's welcome him to Sauna Talk. This show is brought to you by Homecraft, makers of electric sauna heaters. Homecraft is based in BC, Canada, and they have been making heaters since 1982. Multi-generational, two brothers running the show. Their father, Stu, has sold more saunas than most people have taken saunas, actually, you could say. So what it is about Homecraft? Micro-marketed. These guys are not into the fancy, slick, Instagrammy stuff. They just make great products. They're honest, hardworking. You call them up, they answer the phone, and chances are your heater will be made within 20 steps of the person answering the call. I really like their lineup. You have a classic series, the H series, wall mount. You have the Revive in 6, 7.5, 9 kilowatt, and then the Slim, the 4, 5, and 6 kilowatt. Great for indoor, smaller saunas. They have a commercial series, the new Apex line. Anybody experiencing the steam in the Apex at the West Coast Sauna Summit, wow, ask them about it. That comes in 10, 12, 15, 18 kilowatt. I think what's most remarkable about Homecraft is I think it's tomorrow's technology today. Protected elements. When you throw water, no water hits the elements. Just rocks. Clean steam. This is akin to wood-fired sauna. I love it. I think it's the future, and you can get it now. When you call them up there, mention Sauna Times, or even easier, go to saunatimes.com. You'll see the full lineup. Click one, buy now. Enjoy. Well, greetings, folks. Another episode of Sauna Talk. And today on the bench, I'm pleased to present Valtteri Rantala, who is the CEO and founder of the Finnish Sauna Co., a Vancouver-based sauna company that brings authentic outdoor sauna experiences to people. He is also the chief sauna dude of Earth Saunas. In many phones, Valtteri, or Val, short for Valtteri, he goes by the Sauna Dude. And you can say that Valtteri is a pioneer of sauna culture on the West Coast. He built a thriving sauna business, the Finnish Sauna, well before sauna was so popular as it is now. Valtteri is also one of the first cold plunge facilitators in the Vancouver area, helping to shape how we utilize natural elements of heat and cold for stronger connections and healthier communities. With the West Coast Sauna Summit, Valtteri wants to build a platform for bringing people together from all across the ecosystem. He believes that by bringing people and businesses together, we can create a cultural revolution around sauna and connecting with your true nature. Welcome, Val.
Thank you so much, Glenn. Happy to be here.
Yeah, and we have many things to catch up upon, and I thought I would, kind of divide our chat into three sections. First about you, a little bit about you and your background, going way back to diapers, perhaps, just a quick update on that. And then number two is we're going to visit on the West Coast Sauna Summit. We just finished that up, and how long ago was that, Val, the West Coast Summit?
Teardown was last Monday, and the last day was Sunday, so we just wrapped it up a week ago. So it's nice and fresh.
And did you get a lot of sleep? Like, how did you? I'll just stay on number two for a second. How did you recover on that Sunday? Were you saunaed out, or were ready for more?
Oh, I'm still recovering and learning, and it was a beautiful experience. And yeah, next year I need to take a little bit better care of my sleep as well. But it was amazing energy, so I'm stoked.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the West Coast Sauna Summit. And then the third thing we're going to talk about is sauna circuits in the Vancouver circuit, and you as the scout for your adopted city of Vancouver. But staying with number two, the West Coast Sauna Summit began on a quiet Saturday morning when Valtteri and Linda were deep in conversation about sauna culture on the Pacific Northwest coast. Incredible things were happening, and the momentum was on. Builders crafting beautiful saunas, entrepreneurs launching new experiences, hotels embracing wellness, and wellness travel being on the rise. But most were doing it in isolation. There was no shared space, no forum for connection. That morning, a simple idea emerged. What if we brought the whole ecosystem together? Bringing people together for an extended weekend of good sweats, great talks, and meaningful business. From that spark, the West Coast Sauna Summit was born, a platform to connect sauna builders, designers, operators, hospitality leaders, and wellness visionaries. A place to share ideas, sweat together, and move both culture and business forward. Because the momentum is here and the sauna business is growing fast. So now's the time to nourish the culture. That was written a year and a half, 2 years ago for the first West Coast Summit, or is that fresh juice?
That was written during the first one, 2025.
Yeah, and we just finished the second one in 2026. Has it met with your vision, you and Linda's vision? Has it met your vision?
Yeah, it has, and the vision will mature as the event will mature as well. And I think the feedback and the demand for something like this has surprised us. How many people want to come and join and talk and collaborate. We were just fortunate to come up with the right location and the right vibe to cultivate this kind of space to meet. And we didn't want to create a convention hall vibe. We wanted to create something a bit more intimate, so that we could create something beautiful, and then that people can go home with the experience and kind of think a little bit deeper about what they're doing and why.
Beautiful. A wise sauna enthusiast once said that sauna in nature is bigger than all of us. And tell us a little bit about the facility, the Loon Lake Lodge and resort.
Yes. So we are in a beautiful lakeside resort nestled in old growth BC forest, and the whole sauna village is built on the shore of this like pristine, clear water lake, and it's part of a UBC research forest, and they're really excited to have us there. So we're welcome to the land, and people are really excited to see what we do. So it's only an hour and 20 minutes from Vancouver International Airport. So it's an accessible nature-based location that we can immerse ourselves in the sauna, in the talks, in the culture, and in connection with one another. So I think the location also helped to cultivate the spirit of the gathering.
Well said. And you brought Anut into the program, and I probably am not saying his name correctly. A Romanian. He's like the main dude there. I don't know his title, but I know he. Everybody knows him.
Mm.
And he was it the brick and mortar sauna at the Loon Lake Lodge. What came first, the chicken or the egg? The idea of the West Coast Summit, or Anut building the brick and mortar sauna that stands there to this day?
It was actually a great story when we run the first West Coast Sauna Summit 2025 January. That was the opening day of Hotspot, the local sauna there, and it's a beautifully crafted from locally milled cedar from the land. And the story was that he was trying to get a sauna there for years, but as it's part of the UBC Faculty of Forestry and managed by UBC, there's a lot of gatekeepers to change. You know, there's a lot of resistance towards like, no, this is not a proper for sauna place, the safety, all the reasons
Hmm.
why you couldn't do it. So when some groups asked me to rent a mobile there, I pitched the idea of like, let's just have a mobile sauna here by the lakeshore for a couple seasons and see the feedback and see how it is. And and that kind of feedback from my little wood-fired trailer sauna by the lake de-armored some of the gatekeepers, and the steam softened their views. And eventually, Janus was able to get funding and approval for this beautiful sauna, and now it's popular. Whenever he's able to host public sessions or outside the group, it's full. It's full
Yeah.
all the time,
It's full
and
all
it's
the time, and it's actually full with sauna nerds, sauna enthusiasts, those that are very tuned to the jazz trio of heat transfer and the holy trinity of good sauna, heat, steam, ventilation. I have a vision of an image of Mikkel, and when I think of his smiling face, I always think of the left bench at the brick and mortar sauna at Loon Lake because he kind of holds court there at the West Coast Sauna Summit. Even though there's a dozen other saunas, here's a sauna aficionado who's settled onto that bench. A testament to the quality of that sauna.
yeah, and it was also a testament to the local community. Like Jonas has issues with his original stove at the sauna, and it was electric, and it wasn't working well. And last minute, when we started, Kyle from Homecraft stepped in and was able to fix all the problem, bring one of his heaters, and just make everything work the day before. So it was a really nice project to work with the locals and make it work. So
I think that's an example of the vibe on the West Coast, and by extension of that, your philosophy and principle within this space. I know many in the space, and I would put you toward the top of the list of those with an open heart and spirit and a collaborative mindset to that. I mean, what came first? Your Finnish, your Finnish origins, your adopted place of residence, Vancouver, or could it be a combination, including the vibe of the people out there, of collaborative and abundance mindset? Can you wrap that up from your point of view? I mean, how is it that this vibe has worked so well out in West Coast?
you mean the vibe of working together and collaborating and sharing ideas?
Yeah.
I think it kind of comes from the Finnish mindset where we have over 3.5 million saunas, and every person, 95% of people go to sauna every week, and we still see that even though people have their private saunas, people go to public saunas, like it's thriving. There's no mindset of like, oh, there's scarcity or there's not enough. Like we're just starting here. There's plenty of space for everybody to be and set their locations and all that. So why not collaborate and share ideas and make sure we're building better saunas, building better facilities,
Mhm.
being better stewards of how to hold space and maybe help to soften the business edge just a
Mm,
little bit. That it's not all about
yeah.
I gotta make this work and what is my business plan and how do I promote it and it's just Instagrammable, but there's like, what are my values? How do I want people to feel when they leave my sauna, and how do I help this space to cultivate connection and bring people together and bring health and connection to nature and elements as well.
Mm, thank you.
So that
Yeah.
I think the groundedness of Finnish sauna culture is helpful when you go into a market where it's a bit more like,
Hmm.
you know, excitement to get somewhere quick and fast. So there's some groundedness that I bring. I think the roots will bring.
Love it. Yeah. Thanks for that. It's refreshing. I dig the vibe out there. I don't live out where you live, so maybe I just like when I go to Britain. I've been to the British Sauna Summit twice, and the Kumbaya spirit there really touches me. I know if I live there, maybe there could be potentially, a couple snakes in the grass that find their way into the space. I don't know, but as an outsider, it sure seems a lot of Kumbaya, and I love going to areas that share exactly what you described. It's so cool. Hey, and Val, staying on that note, I mean, we are just 1 week out of the West Coast Sauna Summit 2.0, the second one. What's a moment that stands out to you as you kind of revisit? And I'm going to let you think on that a little bit and say we are kindred spirits on a different level as well. I saw a lot of me in you at the West Coast Summit because the Sauna Days, I think this is Sauna Days, April 30th, 2026. This will be our 8th annual. This is a
Mm.
sauna festival that I curated a solo. I'm not a co-founder. I don't have a co-founder. I don't have a Linda in my development of Sauna Days. I kind of did this one on my own with the facility of Larsmont Cottages. But the vibe is tricky because we want to be chill. We want to be there for others when they come running around and say, where's some extra towels to put on the bench, or hey, we need some salt down on the dock because people are slipping and falling. There's a little bit of chaos, I guess you could say, or trying to appease others in that. But with that comes I noticed how you carried yourself through the weekend, and you really, maybe it was the legal mushrooms or other potential legal libations, but you seem to be very chill through the weekend. So hats off to you with that. But tell us to the positive, what's a moment that stands out for you when you realized that there was alchemy and that everything was jiving to the vision that you and Linda have for the event?
Yeah, I also want to give a shout to Hadi, who's part of the team this year and was a huge part of getting the machine well oiled and working. So we're a team of three now, which I'm super
Good.
grateful because
Thank you.
help is needed. I don't want to take everything on my shoulders. And one thing in the beginning stood out is people who came year one, they saw like, oh, this is what this is about. I'm gonna make sure I contribute more
Mhm.
too. So there was more saunas being offered and brought in. Like Josh from Theralox came in with the crane truck and created one of his beautiful units right on the beach and brought a generator to be able to power that unit because we didn't have enough power. So he like did all he could just to create this unique beachside sauna for this event because he saw the vision and cared. And people bringing their builders and their staff from their companies to showcase like what does a celebration of healthy sauna culture looks like to get them inspired when they're building saunas in remote or people's backyards, different locations. It is important for them to see like the bigger picture. Why are we doing this and how are we doing this? So just seeing the different parts of the ecosystem and people who are in the different spaces of the industry come together and sit on the benches and share stories of how it was built or how do I run my operations or what I'm thinking about doing in the stove business next year or a hotel leader thinking about how to incorporate saunas in their location or Aufguss masters or Vista Venik people thinking about how to utilize the space to give Venic massage. So there's all these people come together. It's a fun
Yeah.
it's a
How about
it's a fun environment.
Taya and her two kids' second annual participation in the event? Taya
Yeah,
from Helsinki, and you had a good Finnish posse there.
we had a good Finnish crew, a bunch of us actually, like five, six Finns holding the groundedness and four kids. Michael and Katie's from Sauna Glow kids were there. They has kids from Finland, so we have good amount of kids in the sauna bench, which is always a joy because they should really be part of the culture and not bad because of insurance liability reasons, etc.
Right on. So a moment, distill it. There's several, but where was a moment where you could feel the sauna angels sing in your soul?
For right now, sticks out just the laughter when we were able to do a little bathing culture related fashion show where people would walk with their ladles and buckets or robes, and it was just like a moment of silliness and laughter where everybody contributed. Um, After day of talking about business, we were just letting a little bit of loose, and there's something beautiful of letting a little bit loose because then the humor and the creativity and the laughter comes in. So the Saturday sunset silliness and the way people contributed to that was something that was very special for me this year because it felt a little serious and busy leading up to it, but then when we were able to relax, it was joy.
Well said. Hey, how about a little nod to the Steam Lodge? Was it more than you expected? Let's tell listeners. Do you want to tell listeners about the please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Steam Lodge was something that I was yeah, I think it was your brainchild, and I went along to just like, okay, let's try to create a space where we can hold more ceremonies and have more people and do whisking, and this year it became really a collaboration with Glenn, sending Kuma stoves from Minnesota from the Lampa manufacturing, and then milling our 4x4 posts locally at the Loon Lake Mill. um, Amanda from Thermoculture sending us the tent fabrics to wrap it around, and just and also Chris from PP Woods making us beautiful benches. So it was a collaboration just to get the Steam Lodge together. And it was at some point when I was lifting the stoves or being busy, I was like, oh, this is a heavy lift for the event. But when it all worked out, the measurements worked out, and then we were having the sweats and people were using the space. It was really beautiful to have the Steam Lodge, and it's a unique structure. It was just something that we co-created, so it was beautiful to sweat in that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. And it will be able to be redeployed anywhere you want to go now. It's part of your arsenal of it's part of your arsenal where you can bring it. And do you have a thought about setting it up? I know we're 1 week out from the West Coast Summit, but do you have a place or a place in mind in the West out where you are where you'd like to set up the Steam Lodge?
I think Steam Lodge will be used in possibly in some festivals if we run a little sauna festival in Vancouver or some other summer events. So it'll be like an event sauna that we
Hmm.
have a bigger crew, a bigger gathering that makes it worthwhile.
Right on. And you have a unique place out there in Vancouver. It's Sauna Central. Like, how would you describe um, the climate out where you live compared to Finland or other places? And is it ideal for sauna?
Yeah, we have beautiful warm summers when saunas get a little bit less busy, and then we have like mild, moderately mild winters with lots of rain and moisture and variability. Somewhere in like Celsius +5 is probably average in the winter. So it's really a perfect climate for year round and saunas, and also the culture here is very welcoming, very wellness and health oriented. So people really catch on something that has a social element and has
Hmm.
a health and wellness element to
Hmm.
it. So saunas has been really thriving here for the last
Yeah.
6 7 years and even before.
And you know about the Sauna Circuit project, of course, and you can see it on my screen, right? The map being populated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what Val has agreed to do is to be a scout and to share a Vancouver circuit. We just launched the Chicago circuit. I can click on that real quick, and these are in Chicago. We have 8 bathhouses, all kind of lined up in an accessible way. One doesn't need to go to Chicago and hit all 8 of these, but Kev from the International Disciples of Sauna Tent is the Chicago Scout, and I'm pleased to present Val, who has curated a Vancouver circuit in his city. And these are facilities that resonate with Val in a certain way. And do you want to speak to any one of these? Should we start this one at the top? If you can see my screen, tell listeners about the Finnish sauna up there in Riverside.
So yeah, just a little background. I tried to add locations that have slightly different vibes. So some nature-based, some based in the city, some more industrial, commercial, nature, waterfront. So just try to cultivate a few different locations and also trying to have spaces that I really like what the owners are doing and they're doing it for the right reasons and support that. So the Riverside is one of my locations, hour and a half from Vancouver in Squamish, and it's really under the Tantalus Range next to a river, a really beautiful nature-based off-grid location. And it's river, so the river is always different, always changing. Sometimes there's salmon, eagles, you can see bears. It is really a busy nature vibe out there.
Fantastic. Let's go over to Loon Lake. Is there another one you want to chat on with these other 4 real quick, or should we talk Loon Lake real quick because we referenced it earlier?
Yeah, Loon Lake, we can talk. That's an hour and 15 from Vancouver, and it's where we host the West Coast Sauna Summit. And yeah, it's a really beautiful locally crafted cedar sauna by the lake. And right now they open once or max twice a week for the public because the lodge has their own guests every week. So it's a unique spot if you're able to visit there.
And the hiking around the lake is magnificent. And, we talk about adjacencies, and Val created some adjacencies for you to check out. If you're living in Vancouver or heading to Vancouver, it's what's around the sauna or bathhouse that is as significant often as the hot room itself. And I would say that the Loon Lake Lodge and Retreat Center really fits that, because this photo right here shows the sauna, but what it doesn't show is behind the person taking this photograph is this unbelievable view of Loon Lake itself. And Val, you referenced it. This is a nature lake. I mean, it is about the best cold plunge one could ask for, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's super clean, great water. You can pretty much drink the water from the lake, so it's as good as it gets here.
Right on, brother. Let's talk about one more. Which one of these would you like to call out on your circuit, the Vancouver Sauna circuit?
Yeah, there's a couple from our friends and crew. For example, Good Sauna is more industrial next to a brewery, just like a fun East Van city vibe that is unique in a way. So Good Sauna is good, and Ether House is Ether House. People also came to the West Coast Sauna Summit, and they are more downtown Vancouver location, and trying to cultivate one big sauna, cultivating ceremonies, aufguss, and different ways to use the space. So
yeah, fantastic.
Good job on the programming. Yeah.
How about Sisu Swim? How many times have you been on the floating sauna?
I've only been once, and I gotta connect with Nate again to get on it. But Nate's one of the pioneers of the floating boat saunas in Vancouver, and definitely has his share of the red tape and difficulties getting on the water. But he's really persistent, and has created a beautiful business and service for people to get into the water.
NHL hockey players have found out about this, and I happen to send. I build saunas for NHL players, not every day, but occasionally. And Freddie Gaudreau is out with the Seattle Kraken now, and I think he had an extra day playing the Vancouver Canucks, and they brought he invited a few of the players to say, "Hey, join me on Sisu Swim Sauna," and like 22 of them said wanted to go. So they had two sessions. They broke it up into two, and they did. And so this is awesome. I mean, you go right again. Cold water, the water element, and you just jump right off the floating sauna in Vancouver here. So this is Vail's Sauna Circuit, and what's so cool about this is you can see my cursor here. The Vancouver Circuit is highlighted, and this is not all. This is just a curation. This is an artistic expression of Vail's love of the sauna vibe in Vancouver. But if you click that again, you'll see the population of other facilities. Not saying any one is any better than the next, but they're all here for you on the Sauna Times map. And curate, the Vancouver circuit through Vail is a curation, so you can click around and find ones that serve you. Any other quick thoughts to the Vancouver sauna vibe as we pan out a little bit and we look at some of these wonderful facilities in your area, Vail?
Yeah, I think Vancouver will be an interesting area because there's so much growth right now that we can see as a test, like how many new saunas can a city hold, and how many people can still be serviced. So it'll be interesting to see what the years ahead bring.
Yeah, and this is a capture of a moment in time, right? Like, and I think that's one of the virtues of sauna circuits themselves is some of these guys have been around for a while. Some are the OGs. And this is a moment. So the map is a living, breathing mechanism to promote Vancouver, your city, your place, as much as other spots like San Francisco Circle will be coming on board. Maybe you'll get a vibe to want to go down there, Vail. Have you been to any of the saunas in down coast?
No, but it's in the agenda for this spring. Hopefully, lots of friends in San Francisco now. So excited
Sweet.
to visit Gabe and the Fjord crew out there.
Yeah. One last thing. Thanks again for our chat today. I want to emphasize that. I feel like I've known you for a long time. I mean, Vail, you invited me out to the West Coast Sauna Summit 1.0, contributed how and where I can. There will be a sauna talk with Mikkel Alland, who was very gracious, and you were very gracious to invite him to be a part. And he just shared so many glowing, warm feelings about attending West Coast Sauna Summit 2.0. So we will have his presentation where I moderated as a Sauna Talk episode in and among itself. But Vail, what's your plans for the next one or two sauna festivals? Where do your travels plan to bring you?
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy home for a couple of weeks and go into the BC mountains to get some fresh air, and then we're gonna visit New York Cultural Bathing Gathering in February, and then kind of in late April, early May, fly out to Sauna Days, invited by Glenn himself. So I haven't made it to Sauna Days yet, so excited for that. Get out there, and then yeah, just see how it goes. And then meanwhile, just make sure I spend enough time home and visiting different people and saunas, and keep the culture that we create in the summit alive locally, and hopefully be a catalyst for like connecting entrepreneurs together to collaborate more.
Love that. And a quick shout out to in that spirit to Vicky and Taya and yourself. Tell us about the collaborative project that you've undertaken on Vancouver Island, right outside of Victoria.
Yeah, in Victoria, we last September we launched. Well, it was a 3-year project, and I've been involved for a year and a half. And it's called Earth Saunas, and it's a sauna village downtown Victoria. Very ambitious design-based location in a downtown to create something really magical. And Vicky is the founder, and me and Thea have joined as partners. And yeah, we're just on the starting first 6 months in, and we're excited to learn, grow, and see where we can pop up more of these sauna villages. But the concept is really beautiful, using underutilized city spaces and using design and sauna culture to add and reimagine those spaces. It can be an empty lot, empty alleyway, whatever. So it's really beautiful. So if you're ever in Victoria, Vancouver Island, BC, please come visit Earth Saunas.
Beautiful. Last point, as a Finn living in Canada, in the explosive growth of sauna, it's a Finnish word. It's a place we go. It's a noun. It's a thing we do. Let's go sauna. Any words of wisdom? I mean, you can you remember your first sauna? How old you were?
I was probably around the time that I was able to walk that we start saunaing in Finland, and I have such a good childhood memories with my grandparents, both sides, in the sauna as a child, just different locations, jumping into the Baltic Sea with my granddad, with my grandma, and there was always a space where they would share a bit more stories of their life. Like it was an era where the elder people in Finland wouldn't really talk that much about the past. So it was a space where they would share a bit more of how it was and how was the time with the war and the times when things were a little tougher and how have their life been. And it was just a space where you could ask a bit more questions and be nurtured. So I have really, really beautiful memories from family bathing in general, and those are lifelong. And I hope in North America, as the culture is growing and we take our kids to sauna and it becomes this intergenerational bathing thing, and we build these memories with our kids. So I'm really, yeah, I love that.
Thank you. Do you try to create that same environment on the bench as a host? And what would be the top one, two, or three techniques for creating a comfortable space for storytelling uh, in your work as a skilled host and as one who likes to curate a good vibe? What would be one, two, or three suggestions or tips for creating that same spirit?
Yeah, a lot of the mobile saunas that I started hosting, we right away started with the community-based sauna, which was nobody really doing as much here before COVID. And my saunas always had U-shaped benches to save space, so people were facing each other, which naturally cultivates like conversation and chat. And I really enjoy when we can steer the conversation to more communal, more shared stories, more like, okay, how was your day and what's alive, and just kind of people starting to share slowly about what's inspiring them and why are they here, and I really enjoy the space. I feel space is more grounding when there's one conversation versus many. So especially if the space is small. So whenever possible, just think I always like to think about what kind of prompts or ideas bring the conversation to something that matters and it's more heart centered than versus talking about politics or COVID or something that it kind of pulls us apart, rather something that brings us together. So it's a philosophical thinking of, how to cultivate good storytelling in the sauna. And I'm actually excited personally to learn more about storytelling. And I'm going to do some storytelling courses and classes this year to learn more about the art of storytelling in the sauna.
Beautiful. A technique. There's this beautiful thing about the sound of Lolu. Do you want to speak to that as a technique for creating the
Oh,
vibe?
oh, you mean like if it gets too loud in the benches, how to kind of get your attention? Yeah, it's a classic Finnish trick. If sauna is too busy or you want to get people's attention, you just keep pouring until people naturally has to like bow to the gods of Lulu because it's kind of too hot at the top. And that's how you like, then you can like, after that, you like a big deep breath and say, hey, welcome home. Let's share some stories. So it's really, there's a lot you can do without words in the sauna, which is beautiful.
Perfect. I can't
Yeah.
think of a better way to end the voice of Lolu. I mean, it's deeper than just theme, right? It's a word that is hard to translate. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is deeper than just theme, and you really start understanding it when you visit different saunas and hear different stories. And also when you sauna with elderly or people who's been doing it all their lives, there's a certain unspoken wisdom and groundedness. Also, when you visit saunas that are maybe hundreds years old, you also feel that spirit in them.
We call that spiritual patina out our way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, as a builder, I could get quite deep with you, Val. It wouldn't take much, but I firmly believe that we do build a sauna, but we also give birth to a sauna, and we create something that is alive through the breath and the heart, the kiwas, the stove. So it isn't just, hey, I'm going to go remodel my kitchen. We're doing something that is deeper and creating the space that you so beautifully describe for that connection and connecting with oneself as well. I mean, you enjoy a solo sauna as much as a group sauna, I gather.
Yeah. I when I lived in Finland still, and I would come home from travels and different things, always when coming home, the ritual was just lighting up my family lakeside sauna and sitting there by myself and just pondering like where I've been and what has happened and all that. It was the grounding force for coming home. So I think it's a great space just to share silence as well with yourself or with others.
Fantastic. Hey, Vail, thanks so much, man. Anything else? How can people find you? Is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners, Sauna Talk?
Yeah, thanks so much, Glenn. It's been super fun to get to know you and chat and work on projects together. And I'm looking forward for all the years to come. And if you visit Vancouver, Squamish, or the West Coast in BC, you can reach out. The finishsauna.ca is my company, and West Coast Sauna Summit is a yearly event we host every January at Loon Lake, and hope many of you listeners are able to visit one year and just kind of share what kind of moments we co-create there. And I also travel international in Finland every year, so hopefully see you guys in different sauna gatherings.
Right on, brother. And we'll be together on the bench and on the shores of Lake Superior in end of April. But I'll be seeing you in New York City soon enough in Brooklyn. And this is part of the vibe, man. It's an effort to get there, but once we're there, I always say good heat knows no borders. And no better example of that than these gatherings where their familiarity on the bench and the reconnection. How great to have conferences and festivals where we get to enjoy the universality of good heat.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to go from BC rainforest to the Brooklyn, New York metropolis. So it'll be something different.
And back again. Thanks, Val. Thanks for being a part.
Thanks so much, Glenn. Talk soon.
You got it.